Hi everyone, in today's video, we get meshed up. That's right, in today's video we're taking a look at the Google Nest Wi-Fi. This is a mesh router system. In this video we'll be taking a look at what is a mesh Wi-Fi system, why I chose this one, and how I feel about it a few weeks after I've been using it. Not only that, we're going to show you a quick tutorial on how to set it up in your home to optimize the speed and connection range. So number one, what is a mesh Wi-Fi system? Well, a mesh Wi-Fi system is essentially replacing a router by a router and access point. This allows you to have a longer range of connection. For example, large homes will need more access point to access different parts of the house. You might be familiar with dead spots or dead zones in your Wi-Fi at the moment. For example, a house with many rooms, you might find yourself very far from the router, and that room would have a lower Wi-Fi speed, a lower connection, or just not connect at all. So these mesh systems are made to widen the range of your Wi-Fi, bring you fast speeds everywhere. Now, quick demonstration. Imagine this is your router, right? You have a phone that is here. You're getting decent speeds. The closer you get, the faster your speeds are going to be. The further you get, the slower your speeds are going to be. Now, let's say your home is this table, right? You have a router here. If you're here, you're going to get very low speed, so you put an access point right here. So what this does is it allows the router to feed information to the access point, which acts as a middleman to then send the information to your phone or any device that's connected to the Wi-Fi. This allows for faster connection and wider range, obviously, because without that access point, it would be difficult to the router to connect to the phone. This particular model of mesh Wi-Fi system allows you to have a few features that are exclusive to the Google ecosystem. For example, the Google Assistant feature and other features of the like. It has a built-in speaker on each access point that allows you to basically have a Google Home in any room that has an access point. I believe you can add as many access points as you like. I'm currently set up with 2. There is a box that comes with a router and 2 access points. I did a video on the unboxing of that product a few weeks ago. Make sure to go check it out. So the cool thing about the Google Nest Wi-Fi system is that it supports both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz signal. So it's dual band and it's all built in one network. So you don't have to split your network. For example, a printer that's not compatible with 5 gigahertz and a phone that you want faster speeds on 5 gigahertz, you can communicate with each other without necessarily switching networks every time. This is a big plus for us because we have a lot of devices connected. Not only that, this device comes with proactive band steering. So this is what they call it on their website. It basically means that it directs your device to channels with the best performance. So let's say this is your router and this is one access point and this is another access point, and your phone is here. Well, it's going to determine which access point is the fastest one for your location. So if your phone moves here, it's going to use this access point, and if your phone moves closer to this one, it's going to use this one, whichever is the shortest path to get the fastest internet speeds. Now, in terms of tech specs, I'm not going to go through the whole list. They're all listed on the Google website. You can go take a look at them and compare with other router systems if you like. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm very satisfied with the speed of this. When we started the installation, I was about 100 megabytes per second speed download and 30 upload. Then we switched our plan with our internet provider and we moved up to a 400 megabyte download and a 50 megabyte upload, which is pristine. This is an amazing speed, and right next to the router I am getting extreme speeds. We're talking 450 at least, and we're talking upwards of 50 upload speeds. Something that I found super important and to keep in mind if you are setting up one of these devices, there may be interference, and this applies to pretty much every router device. There might be interference with other devices that use Wi-Fi signaling. For example, I wanted to set this up right next to my Sonos Play base because that's where the whole router and modem and internet setup is. Problem is, when I set it up right next to the Play base, I capped out at around 50 megabytes per second because the Sonos Play base frequency was interfering with the Google Home. All I did was had to move it slightly away from it and it worked fine. I'm just saying this is something to keep in mind and to consider when you're setting it up for the optimal speed performance. Now the device itself, it has the Google Assistant as I mentioned, but you can turn this off with this switch here. I have it permanently off because I am strongly opposed to assistants in general. I don't like the whole voice command thing. I use it sometimes on my phone when I'm driving and I say, hey Siri, call this person or text this person, just for security reasons. Obviously I don't want to be texting and driving, but when it comes to devices inside the home, I have this permanently turned off because I value my privacy. Not only that, a cool feature that I found out when I set these up is they have a nice ring light all around the bottom here that indicates different signals. So for example, when your internet connection is low or not connected, this will turn yellow or orange. It also has a built-in speaker which is of decent power and quality. I don't really use this speaker because again I don't use the assistant feature, but if you would definitely be pleased with the sound quality. It's not going to replace a sound system, but what it will do is allow you to just have basic sounds and whatnot playing from the speaker with ease of use and compatibility with your Google Assistant system. We're getting in that loop again. You also have these 4 microphones here and the 2 touch buttons. So there's gonna be, when you plug this in, buttons that appear here that you can tap for alternate volume features. The setup of the device was fairly simple to do. All I had to do was log in to the Google Home app and then follow the steps, installing the router first and then the access point, and each access point has a little QR code. You just scan that and automatically connects with your system. Very simple to use. We'll go through that a bit later. Now let me plug this in to show you a little bit more of the features. I don't know, you might be able to see here the light that is on. I think this means that it's connecting. There you go. Just gonna connect to my Google Home system.
By the way, the mic's off. To turn it back on, slide the switch on the back of this device.
No, thank you. So I have my basement Wi-Fi here and I can click on it and it'll tell me right off the bat if the Wi-Fi connection is good. I'm mainly using this for Wi-Fi connection purposes, so this is really what I care about. You can run a mesh test, and what it's gonna do is just gonna give you an idea of the connection between the access point and the router. Now if we go through the settings of this device, you can see here the accounts that are linked, the name of each device, which you can set separately. You also have access to the device itself. So here the bottom light brightness, I turn this off because I don't want this light to be on. I don't want it to be distracting. I don't want it to be present. I want this to be hidden somewhere and act like if it doesn't exist. That's what I want from this. But if I turn it on, you're gonna be able to see that orange light shining here at the bottom. And basically that's just indicating that the microphone is turned off.
The mic's back on.
Now the mic's back on, so that light is removed.
The mic's off.
It took me a while to figure out this feature, and it was very important for me because obviously I keep this on mute and I don't want it to be an orange light every single time this is on. You also have sound settings that you can adjust. I don't use the sound, so I'm not going to go through them, but treble, bass, and basic stuff. You have night mode as well, so basically it disables the light at night mode and this and that. I'm not going to go through that either because I always have it off. You can have do not disturb. You can pair Bluetooth devices, so you can start pairing. Now I can enable pairing mode, ready, and then I can just go into my Bluetooth settings and I should see the device pop up. That's connected, and now I can use this as a Bluetooth speaker. So let's go ahead and test the audio with that and see how easy it is to connect. Boom, that's done. Now I play one of my videos on my Bluetooth device. There we go. Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be taking a look at the Sony a6400 and see if it's right for you. And what you can do with this device is play music as well. So when you click onto the speaker, you're able to access your music, volume, and skip songs and whatnot. And I can start casting music. So I can say play music. The sound quality is very decent. It'll be great for, let's say, a bedside table or for a small office space. Kitchen, you want to play a bit of music while you're cooking, great. This is not a sound system. just to get that clear. You have a lot of sensitivity options for specific things like Hey Google and whatnot. Since I don't use the assistant, I'm not going to go through these features because I wouldn't be comfortable reviewing something that I haven't taken a look at beforehand. But obviously you can take a look at all of those features if this is something that you so desire. But as it is, let's focus on what this is. It is a mesh router system. It is additionally a Google Home Assistant, but this is not why I got this. So as a mesh router system, it is impeccable, does a great job. The connection is very smooth, is very strong connection between the mesh access points, and I'm able in the basement to get ranges of speed between 100 to 200 megabytes per second whilst other people are connected on the internet at home. So let's say the living room TV is streaming 4K, then the basement could be streaming 4K. I could be gaming and on my phone and uploading a video, and upstairs somebody could be on their computer and we wouldn't see any issues. The layout of the house is simple, 3 stories, 1 access point on the top and the basement floor, and then the router is in the middle of all that. So it creates kind of a midpoint that the router can then send signal to. This is the best situation for the house, but you still see some dead zones. So we have some spots because of the amount of walls between them and whatnot that are going to be slightly lower connection, just enough to stream, videos and whatnot, but not enough for me to say, okay, let me move my office out there. It won't be fast enough. One of the main points also of the device is that it's simple. It looks great. Look, it's a little white dome. It's simple, and you can throw this pretty much anywhere, on a desk, in a library. It just looks, simple and not out of place. So that's a big point for me because I don't want to have these weird antenna things going around everywhere. It's something simple, slick, good looking. This is a great solution. There are other devices out there that do pretty much the same thing as this mesh router system. For example, Netgear, TP-Link has some. They're great devices, I'm sure. From the reviews I saw online, this came out as one of the best overall, and close second to some other options and whatnot that use maybe 1 access point and 1 router. I really wanted to have 2 access points, so this is the reason that I chose this one. Not only that, the aesthetics were nice and it has a built-in assistant, so if people want to use this in the house, it's a nice bonus. Cost-wise, it is on the pricier end. We're looking at $460 Canadian for the kit that I got with the 2 access point and the router. You can buy each devices individually. It will come out, I think, a bit more expensive separate, but if this is something that you want for a smaller apartment, then it could be an option just to get the router. The router itself is capable of going up to 2,200 square foot. So this is great for an apartment or somebody that has a 1-story home. And then for each access point that you add, that's an additional 1,600 square foot. So if you have, let's say, a 2nd story or a wider home, this is definitely a recommended option. So let's jump into the setup of the devices. First step is connecting the router to your internet source by connecting the network cable from either your modem or your internet source and the power supply. Now, before you proceed to the next step, you do have to set up your router. So open the Google Home app on your phone and then add the new device, which is your router. Set it up following the steps on the screen. Once that's done, you can move forward to the next step, which is connecting an access point. On the same app, click the plus button and go to Setup Device. Click again Setup Device and set it up to your home system. It's going to search for a device. Once it finds it, click on the selected device and click Next. It automatically starts pairing with the access point. Then you're going to use your camera to scan the QR code on the base of the access point. Make sure you have a lot of light for this because I tried to do the setup in a darker environment and the QR code was unreadable. Then the access point is going to emit a sound. Make sure you hear it, then click Yes. On this step, I'm going to go ahead and click No because I don't want to share anything. I'm going to select where the device is going to be located. In this case, it's going to be basement. Once the device is connected, it's going to offer you to turn on Nest Wi-Fi Cloud. I will turn this off. It's going to ask you to set up the assistant as well. You can click Next, but then not turn on the assistant, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip the recognized voice because I'm not going to be using this feature. And I will not put my address. I do not have one of these music services, and I do not want to set up my Netflix account, so I'm going to skip all of that. I'm going to basically be skipping all of the options to use this as a Google Home because I simply want this to be an access point for my Wi-Fi and nothing more. Then it's going to proceed to do a test between the mesh points across the house. Once the test is done, it should give you a status of your connection. In this case, we have a great connection. Then the Nest Wi-Fi is going to check for updates. In this case, it's up to date. Next, I'm going to do a quick speed test. I am right next to the router and right next to an access point. We should be getting around 400 megabytes per second download speeds and 50 megabytes per second upload speeds. Well, that was it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the section below. And hey, I'll see you next time. Peace! Whoa, wait, before you go, actually check out my Instagram page because I upload there almost on a daily basis. I have some behind the scenes stuff going on there, so definitely check it out. It's linked in the description, and I also have it in my channel links. It is the.tech.locker. Check it out, and I'll see you there.